Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back, guys. We are your hosts, Kim and Erran G. We are the creators of the online course for healthcare travelers, Traveler School, and the Facebook group for healthcare travelers, Travel Life, Freedom, and Scrubs.
And with all of that, we are healthcare travelers ourselves. We've been traveling for 7 years now. And this podcast is all about our travels on the road, being on the road, living out of a Jeep with our Pug Mimi LaRue, all the adventures, all the lessons, all the things.
All the crazy stories.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. Welcome to the show. We are so excited you came back.
Yes.
If it is your first time, welcome.
Welcome.
Stick around. You'll have some laughs, learn a thing or two, laugh at us.
Hopefully feel
really
inspired as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta get the inspiration feels happening.
100%.
Important stuff.
All the feels.
All the feels. So before we dive into the show, this week is August 25th, and our online course, Traveler School, is open for enrollment until September 2nd. Mm-hmm. And Traveler School, in a nutshell, is a 8-module course, 65 plus lessons that literally walks you through the process of everything you need to know about traveling from start to finish, from negotiating to understanding pay to finding housing to finding recruiters. We literally cover everything you need to know all in one place. You have lifetime access, and it's an amazing investment.
And there's, that's the biggest misconception is a lot of people think that you can just jump right into healthcare traveling, but there is a lot to learn on how it flows, how it goes, how to find the right companies, how to negotiate.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
Exactly. So we created something that's all in one place. It's what we wanted. And the support that's there, the group that's there, it's just an amazing product. It's an amazing thing. And if you're into courses and you're into learning everything that you need to know right away, then Traveler School is there for you.
In the fastest, most efficient way possible. Check it out. You can get more information on it at freedomandscrubs.com. And go see if it feels like a good fit for you.
Yeah, and we launch like 4 times a year, so we're in an enrollment period, and we don't know when we're going to launch again.
Yeah.
There'll probably be one other time by the end of the year.
So get in when you can.
Get on it.
All right, now let's get into the show. Okay, so on this episode, we are doing another Ask Kim and Erran G. We had so much fun last time, and basically what we do is we answer your questions. Yep. So you guys have written to us on Instagram, on our email, ask at freedomandscrubs.com.
Nice.
And you ask us anything.
Yep.
And on these episodes, we take a couple of the questions and we're going to answer them. So it's going to be super fun. I'm excited.
Perfect.
We had fun doing it last time.
I got to say, last night, though, we started off a little rough.
We had a moment.
We did. But Kim
Somebody's
said...
hungover.
Who?
Me.
Okay. I was about to say. So last night, we had been talking for a long time, and one thing that we wanted to do was celebrate small victories. That's something that we do all the time. And Kim had said we had got these special bottles of wine. They've been coming in, which is really nice. So if you want to send us bottles of wine, we're totally open to it.
We're good Pinot Noir people.
Yeah, and so we had some really cool bottles, and we were like, we're not going to open these just randomly. We're going to celebrate every opening. And so we said at 500 downloads, we'll open a special bottle.
Yeah.
Well, push come to shove,
last night I came home.
That's true.
Push come to shove. What does that even mean? Like push come to shove.
I was saying what I was basically getting at was time got away, and we looked last night and we had 1,115 downloads on this podcast. So that's a shout out to our community, to you all out there. Thank you so much. It's been such an amazing ride so far.
Yeah.
And so Kim was like,
oh my God. Well, not only did we reach 500, definitely time to celebrate and open a bottle, but we doubled that. So we obviously had to open two bottles, and we had a good night. We
did.
Had a lot of, it was more of a deep talk.
Very deep conversations happening.
Not the vibes I was thinking.
No, I thought we were going to listen to music.
And dance and somehow it ended up taking a turn and we had life conversations.
Which is great. I love those.
Fun. They're super fun.
I almost wish we'd...
you kept saying like, "Ooh, we should like get the podcast mic right now," and I'm like, dude, I like can't even form a sentence at this point. Like, that's a hard no.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a good night though.
It was fun.
It was.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say? Oh, are we doing the tip of the week?
Of course.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm shooting from the hip.
You
so
didn't
good.
even know. I asked you before we went on. And
I've been just going back and forth with it. But...
Okay. This is my tip of the week. It came to me while I was in the shower washing, and also because I'm currently using it, so I thought it might be helpful. There is a travel app it's a flight booking app called Hopper, like a bunny, a little bunny foo-foo, and it's really cute, and he like hops across the screen. Okay, so basically...
Really? Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Okay, so you put in your flights. Where do you want to go? And the bunny tracks the flight for you, and it will tell you when prices are going to go up, when prices are going to go down, if this is the best price you're going to get, so you should probably book now. And so it kind of gives you this window. So for instance, I used it to book our flights home. We're going home to Florida in November, and one of the legs of our trip, the Hopper told me that I should wait to book because that flight is actually going to go down $150. It's pretty specific too. And it gives you the date. So now it's tracking, and it will let me know when I should book that flight. So I'm just waiting for the bunny to tell me when, and then I'm going to do it. So I think it's a great app. I'm sure there's a lot of apps out there like that now, but this is my go-to, and it's really helpful to get the cheapest flight possible.
Love that.
I like it.
Yeah, good tip.
Thanks.
What's
yours, Bobo?
Oh, here we go again. I mean, I thought we ended it, but episode 4.
Somebody at work listened, and now they're calling Erran Bobo, and he couldn't be more furious.
I'm not, actually. It's fine.
It's like, that's your name. It is. Own it.
It's not, though.
Own it, Big B.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. So, my tip of the week with the excellent introduction that I just got. I'm actually going to say, you know what? Here it is. Meet people for the first time every day.
Okay.
So what that means is there's times where you have a tough time working with somebody, or somebody rubs you the wrong way, or you have judgments about this person, but going in every single day, meeting them for the first time. As healthcare travelers, we meet a lot of people for the first time all the time. And when we go into these new contracts, we have no judgments. We don't know who we're talking to. We don't know who we're meeting. And we just allow our own selves to feel people out and have the relationships that we want to have. And so what I try to do is, even if I had a bad day with somebody, or we just kind of bumped heads a little bit, I try to come in the next day and meet them for the first time again the next day. And that way, all of your judgments, all of your things are wiped away, and you can just build on each day.
I love that. So start fresh every day. So I can do that with you too. Like when you make me upset, I'll just like meet you again 5 minutes later.
Well, that's pretty much how it is with our relationship anyway, with your 51st dates. You can't remember
I have like the worst. It's actually not a joke. I actually remember important things. I have selective memory, but I don't hold a lot of things in my consciousness. I really don't. I hold things that I find value in. Other things I just kind of like dump. And so I don't remember movies. I don't remember shows.
Calling me a cold-hearted snake.
When did I do that?
Last night.
I did not.
And then I called you on it, and you were like, I don't remember saying that. And I'm like,
happened.
That's convenient.
That's
Can
lies.
you stop picking your nose, please? It's bugging me.
Don't call me out, you dick. See? Okay, I'm going to meet you again because you just totally...
You've been doing it the entire time.
Booker.
It's annoying.
P.S. I did not call you a cold-hearted snake.
Yes, you
it's
did.
All lies from the devil.
No. Anyway, okay, can we get in the episode?
Okay. Let's dive into you guys' questions. So, we took 3.
Okay.
Of course, Erran had to add a bonus.
Just in case.
But the bonus one is my favorite one. I kind of wanted to do a whole episode on that because we get asked that all the time. So let's see if we get to it.
Okay. Okay, Matthew McConaughey. Anyway.
Can you please even explain what that means for people who have no idea what you're talking about?
Matthew McConaughey when he's in the those commercials, the Lincoln commercials or whatever.
Buick.
It's not. It's Lincoln.
It is Lincoln.
And he's twirling his fingers, and it looks like he has a big booger in his fingers. And then Jim Carrey did a remake on it.
That was hilarious.
Well,
you guys YouTube that. It is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
It's
anyway,
like Play-Doh.
Jim Carrey's SNL redo of Matthew McConaughey's commercials. It's
Side
hilarious.
note, when I used to do sleepovers with friends, I would always pick my nose and wipe it on their walls. So if you're listening...
Why would you admit that?
Because...
Okay.
Because it was like I was leaving like them a present behind.
Okay. You've done lost it.
Okay.
Wow.
I think I'm still drunk from last night. Okay. Here's the questions. Number 1. If you were single, would you be traveling, and in what manner? Like an empty apartment? Would you go in an RV? Would you have a U-Haul, etc.? Okay.
And I love the fact that the question, they capitalize if.
If.
Okay. Do you want to answer?
Okay. So, gosh, I'm just looking at these questions for the first time. I did not prep. But if I were single, would I be traveling? 1,000,000%. Like if I was single and I was a stenographer, I would 100% be traveling, because after you start traveling, I couldn't imagine a life where I was like working full time. It's such like it's amazing. So yes, I would.
Well,
totally
why
be
is
traveling.
that?
Because you get to live in all these cool places, right? So how often, like, in what world do you get to live in San Francisco for 3 months, or Seattle for 3 months, or New York for 3 months, or whatever? Like, you get to live in all of these really cool places. You can take time off. You can take time off to go travel abroad. So if I was single, I would
make the most money.
You make the most money. Yeah, I would 100% be traveling. And I would be traveling in the same way I'm traveling now. I would find an apartment to rent. I still wouldn't rent rooms. Like, I am not that girl. I'm not that traveler. Like, I need my own space, my own privacy. I'm very, I need my alone time. So I would never want to share a house with anybody. It's just not my style. So I would still kind of do what I'm doing now, but I would totally still travel. 100%. Without a doubt.
I would 100% travel without a question. Mm-hmm. The only thing I'm debating is I think I would get one of those Mercedes van. Like,
you would live in a van?
Yeah.
Down by the river?
Sure.
Okay.
I really feel, but I think
I feel like I'd get it like a huge RV.
You would, but you wouldn't know how to drive it, and then you would just freak and...
I would hire a driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I really think I looked at that as like one of like a really nice van, or a small RV. I think that would be really cool, because then I could tow some sort of other vehicle to get back and forth.
Your Can-Am.
My Can-Am?
Can-Am that you're obsessed with.
No.
If we weren't married, you would totally have like a 2-wheeled vehicle or a 3-wheeled vehicle. That's like your dream in life.
I would get a Ruckus.
To have like a scooter or like a bike.
Or I would do apartments. I think that would be really cool. And just the same way, have a vehicle loaded down with just everything I own fits in that, and bounce around.
Yeah. I can't imagine being single without you. That brings tears to my little eyes.
Oh, that's nice, because what you said when you were reading the question was you'd be doing everybody.
I would.
Wow.
It's a great way to meet the gentlemen.
Okay.
And the ladies.
All right.
Babe, take it back. You would never.
What, you're allowed to say it, but I'm not?
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, it's always a double standard.
I see how this goes. Okay.
I'm your only princess.
You are.
Okay, well, besides LaRue, which has been kicked out of the
Would you travel with a
once
dog?
again.
If you were single?
Yeah. I would have Mimi. I would have a pug.
Really?
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Well, think about it from a single point of view, though. Now you're responsible. You have to get home. You have to...
That is true. Because you...
I don't think I would.
Really good care of our baby. So I don't do very much.
It's true.
But... That being said, when we lived separately, so a few years ago, Erran was working, at the time, he was working at Stanford in Palo Alto, and I was taking a contract in Sebastopol. So we were like 2 hours away. And so during the week, I stayed at American Extended Stay by myself. And it was the first time we had lived apart.
That was a sketchy place, too.
Oh my God. It was so sketchy.
Remember when you got trapped?
Spiders. Oh my God.
Remember when you got trapped by the pit bulls and the guy was like,
I forgot about that.
Run,
Oh
lock yourself in the... Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, side note. Let's take the scenic route because this is a freaking crazy story that I totally forgot. So I'm living in this American Extended Stay. This was the cheapest place to stay, and I was all about saving money, making money. Like, it wasn't anything fancy, but I never really felt like it was dangerous.
And
it
I
just
came
wasn't
every
that
weekend,
nice.
and it was
So I go out to my car, and this guy is like running around the corner in like jorts and like freaking wife beater, and he's like, get inside. I'm like, what's going on? I was like trying to do my laundry like a normal human, and he's like, there's pit bulls on the loose. And so I ran inside and locked the door, and I was like peeking out the door, like they were literally nipping at my heels as I was running.
Okay.
They were on my tail. Then I'm peeking out the window. They're like frothing out the mouth, like their paws are up on the window, and they're like scratching the glass to try to get in. They're like banging their heads against.
No, they're not.
I was so scared. So then the people had to come get it. It took hours. So I was trapped in my room with the dogs.
You were calling me, and I could hear them barking outside.
They were barking and screaming and trying to get in, and just like they had it out for me. They had it out.
Well, good thing that guy came running around the corner in his jorts.
He loved jorts. That was a very like jort community of people that lived there. What was I even saying about that place? Oh, so I was living there by myself during the week, and there was like spiders. Remember when that huge spider came crawling in the bed? It was like crazy. But I would take Mimi, and so we had joint custody. So Erran would have her for a week, and then I would get her the next week. And I will say that because it was hard sometimes. Like, I would miss you, and I was alone, and having her with me, it just made me feel more comfortable. Like, I loved coming home from work and knowing she was there and that we could cuddle, and it felt like it felt less lonely.
It does. It keeps you safe too. I mean, she's gonna bark and not against the pit bulls, obviously.
Oh my God, she would have been so scared.
I just look at it. I guess it would. Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, it's so much responsibility.
Well, yeah, especially when you work long hours, you're not sure when you're going to come home, and then you go work out after the work, and she's home. Good thing she's such a good dog.
Oh my God. So this is a really impossible question to answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, let's move on to number 2.
Okay. I have a question with regards to your fun travel. How do you go about picking your destinations, and what would you do there? Do you use a travel agent or just research, for instance, like Paris? Oh, we forgot to say in the beginning that we're like getting ready to go to Paris and Barcelona.
Well, this week is crazy. This is our last full week of just normalcy before we fly to Vegas for TravCon.
Yeah.
We have 3 talks to give. 3. Yeah. And we're having a penthouse party.
Yep.
And all the other things. And running a room. And then we're leaving Vegas and flying straight to Paris.
Yep.
For fun.
To have like a breather.
And then going to Barcelona.
Yeah. And my only intention and focus is to eat as many baguettes with butter and drink as much wine as possible.
Done.
That's it.
I'm in.
After this month of craziness, it is going to be the best feeling in the world.
Month? It's been a long year.
I know, but we're in a season of hustle in this moment. So getting on that plane and going to Paris, like, I'm wearing a beret.
I might.
Like, it's happening.
I might actually get some champagne on the plane.
I think you need a beret.
Okay, I would never wear a beret. I would look totally, like,
I really need
scary.
you to get a beret.
Okay.
We're going to do that. Okay. So.
Well, let me start with this.
Okay.
So this is kind of funny because it says, do you use a travel agent?
I am a travel agent.
Well, there was times when Kim wasn't working contracts, and she said that she was looking for travel agencies that she could go and volunteer for because she likes planning people's trips.
It is my favorite thing to do. Fun fact, if you would like to hire me to plan one of your trips, I'm your girl. I love planning. I love the details. I love exploring new places and finding like the cool places to go, like the best places to go. I love reading blogs about places. Like I love the actual planning part of it. It's fun for me. It's like a hobby. I enjoy it.
And I love that you love it.
I know.
It's
you
nice.
Get to reap all the benefits.
Yeah.
Even though, what's funny is I feel like I haven't really done I've done some research for Paris and Barcelona, but not like usual because I just haven't had the time. So we have a couple of things, but we're kind of winging it, which...
Yeah, so usually how we do this is Kim gets an itch. She starts to scratch the itch. I don't know where she ends up going. It's random things. Like this trip we're going on to France and Barcelona is from Groupon.
So this is the first Groupon trip that we're taking. And we'll let you know how it goes. My sister and her husband used a Groupon trip recently and went to Italy and Greece and said that it was fantastic.
Well, and didn't Allison Fletch do it too?
And my aunt and uncle did it too. And so I've heard good things about Groupon that, the locations at the hotels, everything was great. And I think Groupon, here's the thing, because there's so many places I want to go. So many places, right? Like it's almost overwhelming because you're like, where should we go next? And you want to go to all the places. But what I loved about Groupon is that it gives you inspiration because you can scroll through if you go to the trips section of Groupon and you can just see what trips are available. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, I never had thought about this. This looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll do this. And Groupon is so cheap. Like it really is. It's not through Groupon. It's through other travel companies, but they post their trips on Groupon. But they're very affordable, and the kicker with that is it's specific dates. So you have to be flexible with your dates because you can't just go whenever you want.
And benefits of healthcare traveling.
Right. And a lot of them are specific airports. So for instance, we had to pay more money for this Groupon because we're flying out of Las Vegas instead of one of the
San Francisco.
Yeah. But I'm kind of obsessed now because I really do like the idea of being able to scroll through and get inspiration from the trips. I will say that this isn't a guided trip. I don't like guided trips. I want to, the only thing that's included is flights and hotels, and then Erran and I get to pick and plan and do everything else.
Which then, I think leading into, we can kind of touch on that, but I think, when you and I went 6 months to Southeast Asia, we knew the places that we wanted to go, and we started really watching YouTube videos and finding different people that were travel vloggers that were actually showing the areas and showing where they went. And that's pretty much how we planned our entire 5 months. It was 5 months total, right? I think
4.5,
5
5
over in Southeast Asia. But we literally picked a couple travel vloggers, found the places they went, and then made a list from there and started in Bali. Went around, did those things, went to Thailand, went around, did those things that we saw in the video, and then went to the Philippines, and we were battling Vietnam or the Philippines, but we went with the Philippines based off of a lot of these travel vloggers.
Yeah, I think that's such a great tip is dive into YouTube. Mm-hmm. And what I love about YouTube, and then what I also love about blogs, like old school blogs, is that you can really get some the inside scoop of not just like a TripAdvisor where it's all the touristy things and the things that are no-brainers that that you're going to do or that everybody does or talks about. Blogs and vlogs, a lot of times they take you places that you won't find.
That's
on
the
Googles.
thing. That's what the vloggers are trying to do is find those places that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And that's what sets them off.
It's my favorite thing to do. I was looking for Paris and Barcelona tips and places to go, and I came across a blog. Her name or the name of the blog is The Blonde Abroad, and I became completely obsessed with her. She's amazing, and she has all these travel guides of where to eat, what to do in Paris, in Barcelona, and it's like all like the inside scoop of everything.
I think the benefit for me too is like vloggers, you can really get a sense of their personalities and see if they match with yours.
Yeah.
And then based off what they're doing, you're like, wow, I think I would really like that too, because we seem to have some sort of connection and similar interests. And then it really shows you visually what you're going to get into.
Yeah.
And then you can go and experience it for yourself.
100%.
And put your own twist on it.
Yeah. That's important, is that, if you're looking at blogs or vlogs, find people that you identify with. If you're, our age or, 30s or 40s and you probably don't.
Wait, what?
Well, some of us are pushing 40 in this room.
Wow.
I'm not one of them.
Wow.
Which, P.S., we're going to do a whole pod on age, because Erran and I, one of our deep life discussions last night was about age. And so
I struggle with it way more than Kim does, but
yeah.
I think that also has to do with age.
No! You're not like a grandpa. You're a couple of years older than me, brah.
4.
Okay, whatever.
4 significant years. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it's all stories.
It is.
What was I saying?
30 or 40s.
Yeah, so you probably don't, or maybe you do, depending, because
you're not going to go to all like the little backpackers.
Or like the 18-year-olds who are staying in hostels. Yeah, like you want to find people that you identify with. So follow us on YouTube also. We actually haven't been doing vlogs a lot lately. Something we talked about last night too. We will do more, but anyways, I think that's a really great avenue to go down when you're researching a place. The other thing that I like to do is search hashtags on Instagram.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
So like hashtag, Paris, or I did hashtag food in Paris, or whatever, hashtag like best tapas Barcelona. I don't know, like you can, and then you can search all through the hashtags of like pictures and where people are and like restaurants. So I found some restaurants and stuff that way too. So that's another way that I research.
I mean, I also think too, I guess I said this, but one of my biggest things is you never know the tastes of the people that are writing, and that's why I really like YouTube and Instagram even, because of the fact that there are some people that think that eating a McDonald's McRib is life changing.
Right.
And so I'm not going to follow those people. I want to follow foodies. I want to follow people that appreciate food, that are going to try to find the restaurants off the beaten path. I don't want to hit like Applebee's in Times Square because it's fun. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Yep. 100%. Like, yeah. You got to know the source of where you're getting your information.
And know what you like.
Know what you like. Oh, and last thing I'll say about this too is there is a Facebook group called Girls Love Travel. It's one of my favorite groups, and basically it's just a bunch of chicks who travel, and it's a great resource to get into and be like, hey, I'm going to Paris for the first time. I'm going here. Any tips? Where should I eat? What are you looking for? What's the best place to take a picture of the Eiffel Tower? There's going to be people in that group that are going to come in and they're going to give you their tips. And I just screenshot all the comments and I save them, and then I'll go back to them later when I'm making a list of all of the things that we want to see and do. So that's a really great, I just research and have fun with it. Like, have fun. What do you want to do? And just like dive in. To me, there's nothing more fun than planning a fun getaway.
Well, and I think a lot of people feel stuck with, what do I even type in? But that's where it's like really tapping into, you can literally type in your wildest dreams and figure it out. Like food in Barcelona, tapas in Barcelona. A lot of people are like, what's tapas?
Yeah, somebody just said that the other day. Where was that? We're like...
At work.
Of course. And we're like, what do you mean, what's tapas? Like...
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of octopus? It's amazing. Small plates.
Small plates. I know, has nothing to do with octopus.
I know, but every time we go to a tapas place, I always get the grilled puss because it's my favorite dish.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With potatoes or?
Roasted. Oh, wait. What? Wait, what? What was that? It was Puss in Boots. Or no. Puss in Pots.
Puss in Pots.
Puss in Pots. It was like the best roasted potatoes with like olive oil.
Oh, it was in Vancouver, wasn't it?
San Diego.
Oh.
Cafe Sevilla.
Cafe Sevilla. Yeah.
Okay.
That was pulpo in pots.
Puss in Pots, as some call it.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else I would like to say about how we choose where we're going to go, because I think that it's like such travel problems, right? But there are, you have to think about like the time. Like for instance, Erran and I want to go to New Zealand. We want to do a camper van thing.
Which we are doing in February.
Which we're doing in February, but here's the thing, it's in the southern hemisphere, so it's opposite season. So, okay, cool, like now is obviously not the best time to go. It's freaking winter there, so we're planning it for next February. So, looking at the seasons and what time of year it is, so whenever you get the time off or you're taking the time off, evaluate where you want to go in the world based off like what the season is, that kind of stuff.
Well, we also, like I had said, we were battling Vietnam, and you and I really want to go there, but that's not something that we're going to go there for like a week. That's like where we want like an extended time where we just go through Vietnam. That's our trip.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's where we're trying to, those are the things that we weigh out. So we also say, where is it that you would like to go? And Kim and I play this game all the time. If there was nothing money-wise involved,
where would you go?
Where would you go?
Yeah.
And then we just come up with that, and we keep those in a little database, and then we realize when we have an extended amount of time off and we saved up enough money, then we're like, all right, well, we're going to have an availability of possibly 3 months off. What do you want to do?
Yeah, and let's plan from there.
And so that's technically how we go about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is nice, really nice life.
I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not either.
I ain't mad at it. Okay. This is a traveler-specific question. Mm-hmm. How do you kindly turn down an extension? And so just to kind of preface for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, as travelers, we take contracts that are typically 3 months.
13 weeks.
13 weeks. And a lot of times, most times, there is a possibility to extend, which means that you can just stay longer if it feels good and if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how do you turn down an extension? Which is really interesting because I get this question a lot. It's something I had never even thought about. I've never had an issue saying no. Because do you want to...
Yeah, I just think I can understand in a way, number one, when you're coming off of full time, I really feel like it's difficult mentally to really wrap your mind around the fact that it's completely normal to leave. That you feel like you started a new job and you meet new people and you build relationships with people, and then you're just like, I'm leaving, and that necessarily in your mind feels like a bad thing to do, even though that is the world we live in.
Right.
Does that make sense?
But I feel like we're travelers. Like, people expect us to continue to travel. They know that we're here temporarily. So you can't feel bad or guilty about not wanting to stay somewhere for a longer period of time. They understand. So I always say, if you want to extend and it feels good and you'd like to stay settled for a little bit longer, great. Say yes, extend. But if you don't want to, don't feel obligated. Just say, hey, this has been so great. I loved being here. I loved being, working with you guys, but I really want to take a contract in Colorado or California or whatever. Fill in the blank with whatever you want to do. So I'm just ready to, there's, a contract open and I'd really like to work there. You know what I mean? Even if maybe that's not necessarily true in that moment, but it's kind of just like, you're ready to move on.
Or even saying, I really appreciate the time. I'm glad I got to come here and help you out. But I'd really like to take some time off to myself because that's the beauty of traveling. Yep. And I would like to go home or I would like to just take a couple months off and go to New Zealand or,
right.
And it's really an understanding that we have as travelers. And I can tell you one thing. For me, a lot of people ask right when I get into, I've had a lot of places ask me to go full time on the interview.
I know.
And I've been like, let's have dinner first. But
pump the brakes, sister.
I'm a lifelong traveler. And I'm very open with that. Yeah. That I'm not looking for full time work. I'm not looking to stay put for an extended amount of time. With that being said, we are currently in Oroville, California, working at a contract, and they've asked us to extend 3 times. And that feels good to us where we are right now. It's comfortable. The job is amazing. The people are great.
Yeah.
The work is not difficult. And we're both working and making a lot of money.
Right.
And so it feels good to extend. But I got to say, I think there's only been one contract that I've taken that I've only done 13 weeks. The rest I've extended.
Yeah, even if it's just a couple of weeks typically.
And a lot of times oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say where we are now, they've asked me several times if I would go full time. And again, I just make a joke out of it, like, love you guys, it's not personal, but I'm a traveler. I'm not, like you said, I'm not looking for full-time work. I love the travel part of traveling. I love going to new locations and new places, and that is something this is why I signed up for this gig. And they get it,
But it also makes me sick because you're hearing, to think about going full-time, because there's people that have, extended or financially are okay, but yet only have 2 weeks worth of PTO.
Gross.
And paid time off, if you guys don't know what PTO is, but they only have 2 weeks of paid time off, and that's all they can take for the entire year, and then they have to build it up. That's not the life that I want to live. I want to be able to be I can work 3 months, 13 weeks, and then take off as long as I want, work when I want, work when I don't, and that's why I travel.
100%.
And so that's the beauty of it. I have had a point where I said no to somebody, and then the director and manager of the department, really talked to me and said, we're going to have to find another traveler, and we're going to have to bring them in, and we're going to have to train them. So if you could we would love to have you, and you were a great fit in this department. And if you could just extend a little bit longer, that way we wouldn't have to train a whole nother traveler. And so they did approach me with that, even when I said no. Mm-hmm. And I did stay for a little bit, but I didn't stay a full 13 extra weeks.
Yeah. Again,
so there's ways to go about it. I usually blame it on Kim, too.
Yeah, we're lucky we can blame it on each other. Aaron's taking a contract and whatever. Got to keep it moving. So, yeah, we are lucky that we do have each other to blame things on. That works. But whatever. Come up with an excuse. Show gratitude for being there. It's nothing personal. You've loved working here, but you're ready to move on to your next one. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. And just be gracious,
Yeah. Perfect. Don't burn the bridge, because you'll come right back, possibly.
Yeah.
And even saying that, I would love to come back in the future and help you out. Please keep me in mind.
Oh, yeah.
When you guys are looking for a traveler, just give me a call.
Yeah.
And it's great. That's happened a couple times.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. That's pretty much it with the question.
Do you want to cut it off, or do you want to answer briefly and almost give...
What are we at with time?
I don't even know.
I think we're going to do a whole episode on this. But I guess you want to just touch on it a little bit?
I don't know if we can. Do you think we can? I mean, I don't think we're very far into this.
Well, this is so funny because we were talking about this last night too. We literally talked about all of the things last night. The life things.
But the kids talk, which is the question. Okay, so the bonus question is, do you guys want to have kids someday? And I do really think that I want to do a full episode, so I don't know if I want to go into this. Because I don't know if we can just touch on it. But I don't know. But we were talking about it because
we've said it. I know,
because of the fact that was my age issue.
Yeah.
And so Kim and I, to answer the question right off the bat, and
our quick response. And then we'll dive into this in more depth about how we really feel about kids and our thoughts on it and how we want to design that if we choose to.
We should just do that in one of the next episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
cool.
So just stay tuned for that. But the answer right now with where we're at is no.
Ooh, Papa.
So it's not against any kids, but again, I really feel...
Actually, it is.
Well, it is, but it isn't. So if we're going into a full episode, we'll have enough time to explain that.
dive into it.
But as of right now, I'm not opposed to kids. But right now, I personally, if we had a child by accident, right?
So if I came home... Or if you came home and I told you that I was knocked up, what would be your response?
I would feel upset.
Would you cry yourself to sleep?
Actually, but then that's where I'm saying, that's where my faith comes in, that at that time I was supposed to have a kid. And that was beyond...
You trust in our
because
plan.
I'm doing everything possible to not have kids.
Right.
And so...
Use protection.
To not... Okay, thanks, babe. I think they figured that out. And yes, anyway. And you have an IUD.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm just kidding. Here's the thing, this is all I'll say about it in this moment, is that I'm 33 years old, and I think exactly what you just said. I trust in the plan. Where we are currently in our life, a kid does not fit into the equation. It doesn't work. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't be a joyous, welcoming, exciting moment in our lives. And because our focus right now is traveling, is growing our business, is doing us. Like
right.
we're focusing on us right now and what we want to do and exploring our passions and living our life. And I don't want to bring anybody else into that equation until I can fully give my heart and my time and my energy and my excitement to that person. And I don't want to do that right now. We fight about who's going to take out the freaking dog, right? Like who's feeding the dog? That's a big responsibility. So right now, it doesn't fit into our life. Now, granted, as a woman, I understand that there is, quote unquote, a time clock. And that's where I lean into our faith. If at some point in our lives, our feelings change around having a child, and I'm too old, say, then we can explore other options. But I don't put pressure on myself because of my age and this and that. It's just like, if it's meant to be, it will be. If we're supposed to have our own child, we totally will, and it will be great. If we're not, that's okay too. And I just feel at peace with that.
I agree. And I think for me, I firmly believe that I don't feel like you can ever, because everybody always says you're never ready. You're never ready. You're never ready. Yeah, but I also understand of when I feel mentally in a place where I can welcome that. Right. I might never be ready for it.
Right.
And I know my life will change dramatically, but the way that I look at it is I work very long days, I work very long hours, and then we come home and we work until midnight, 11 on our passion projects.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything to get in the way of that right now. And so whenever times change, there's a difference between wanting to come home and be selfish and working towards something that I'm very proud of and reaching a point that I want to get to. And when I have a kid, I want to be all in with that kid.
Agreed.
I want to be throwing the baseball, being outside, going exploring, going hiking, going adventuring, showing them the world. And our travels, I don't think will ever change with a kid or not.
Yeah.
Now that we have Steve and Ellen as our
yes!
parent mentors.
Shout out. We were into interviewing you last night.
I know.
You're obsessed.
Yes, but Steve and Ellen are travelers.
They travel with their daughter.
They're leaders in the industry, and they go everywhere with their child, and it is amazing. And so there's definitely ways to do it, and I understand that, but I want to be in a different place.
I also feel, too, because, traveling is something that, runs through our blood. It's just something that is so ingrained in our souls and who we are and what is important and what we want to do. And I don't believe that just because, like you said, just because you have a child doesn't mean you can't travel and you take your child with you and whatever. But that totally changes the dynamic and the focus and the energy of that trip, right? Because now you're doing something totally different. You have a child with you. So I want to explore the world and travel with just you first as my husband. And have all the fun and go to Paris and drink all the wine and do all the things that we want to do, just focusing on you and I. And then if we start traveling with a kid, it's cool because we've already had these unique one-on-one experiences together. And so I welcome the this is going to be a different type of trip, but that's okay. I'm cool with it. Now we can focus on doing more kid-friendly things because we've already done the adult-friendly things.
I agree.
I want to go to Amsterdam and, pick up hookers and, and, smoke reefer and, do cocaine off your nipple.
Okay. Since when have you ever done any of that?
I'm just kidding. That was a little drastic. But
extremely drastic.
But, that's the adult version.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
You would take to see, the tulips.
Well, a lot of people say, I'm not ready to leave the party at 10:30.
I am. I'm a baby grandma.
I know. But you were up late last night, but I don't even know where I was. I know. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Well, I don't know. Let's end it.
Let's end that.
Put a pin in it. Pin in
it. Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We always have fun with these questions, so please, if you do have a burning desire to know anything, we're an open book. Oh, what I was going to say, sorry, it just came to me. was we're having this discussion about kids, and we're in November we'll be married 9 years.
Oh my god!
And so it's not like we're newlyweds.
Yes, we are.
But we still are.
Every day is like the first day with you.
Oh, because I choose to meet you for the first time every day.
See,
and
we bring
you don't.
It back.
But you don't
choose.
It's just how it is.
I mean, I just naturally show up.
Like, who are you?
Well, and I feel like I bring different personalities into the mix every day. So like you're always, dating or hanging out with like a new version of me. So it keeps it like fresh and fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
You get the crazy, you get the sweet, you get the fun.
It's like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, first I'm sour, then I'm sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Loves it. But yes, we have been together 9 years, and we're still doing the damn thing together, and I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay.
No changes.
Why are you winking when you said that? Big B.
Okay. All right. So
if you have, like Erran said, have any questions, again, we answer questions not only about traveling, but we can answer relationship stuff, money stuff, whatever questions you guys have. Super fun. You can email us at ask@freedomandscrubs.com. And if you have enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. We forgot to say that in the beginning.
We did.
Damn it.
That's okay.
If you've made it this far,
yes, thank you.
you're a rock star.
You are a rock star.
You're a warrior in your panties.
Okay, you are just out of control. And we have a training to do in an hour and a half.
Oh my god, we gotta get it together.
So anyway, again, Traveler School is open for enrollment. If you are interested in Traveler School, you can follow along at freedomandscrubs.com. Go to the Traveler School tab, and it will tell you all the things. And then you can follow along with us and know when it's in enrollment. Or, you know what? We're always open. You can go ahead and get in as well.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So we will see you next week. Thank you for joining. And this was fun.
This was fun. These are my favorites.
It was.
Love you.
Deuces.
I love you.
I love you. I thought you were talking to the microphone.